think so.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Public Works and Finance Committee. Today is Monday, January 23rd, and I am Julia Parker, and we have Commissioner, I promoted you,
Wow.
Counselor Sandra Kelly and Counselor Drew Davis here with us today. First on the agenda is the approval of the January 9th minutes.
I move we approve them.
I agree.
Agree.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a request for approval to update authorized signers on the City of Moscow, Wells Fargo, Zion, and U.S. Bank accounts.
Hi there.
Hi.
So yes, in the past, we have actually always had signers on our accounts that are the mayor, city supervisor, finance director, sometimes assistant finance director, or our treasury management. But with the transition of everyone moving in and out, we haven't received any updates on those cards. And previously, it was just a stock card. It was a pretty informal process, but now the new process is that we put it in front of council or committee and make sure that you guys authorize us changing those signatures. So that's what this is for.
Just a one-time deal. We just say, yep, go forth and change it, and it's good.
Pretty much.
Cool. I feel good about that.
And so that will be, okay, you're removing Mayor Lambert. Good idea. Gary Reedner, who's retired, and Julie Fry, and adding Bill Belknap, Mayor Betke, and Renee Tack.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good to me. I approve.
Approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Good. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Don't abuse it.
Boy, that was the mom coming out, wasn't it?
I was looking at the mayor. All right. Next on our agenda is a public meeting for the proposed lot division, generally located southwest of West Palouse River Drive ball fields property and southwest of the University of Idaho Arboretum. And Amy is going to talk to us about that.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having me today. Yes, as you stated, first item I have before you today is the Eddington Estates lot division. If you like to turn your attention to the presentation screen, I'll kind of go over what's being proposed. So the applicant, BBC LLC, is proposing a lot division to create 4 lots of approximately 0.53 acres, 1.06 acres, 1.66 acres, and 10.5 acres in size from an existing parcel of 13.76 acres. This, as you stated, is generally located southwest of the Palouse River Drive ball fields property and south of the University of Idaho Arboretum. As you can see, the perimeter is outlined here in red, showing the vicinity just south of Palouse River Drive. This is a photo of the subject property from the street view looking south from Palouse River Drive. As I said before, the subject property current parcel size is 13.76 acres. The applicant is proposing to separate 3 lots to the north, the 0.53, 1.06, and 1.66 acre lots from the lot that would be remaining of 10.50 acres. This is a survey that was completed showing those lots and how they would be laid out with the square footage required. And as you can see, there will be a street extension coming in from Palouse River Drive, allowing all of those lots to have access. Current zoning, as it sits today, the 3 lots, the smaller lots are zoned residential office, and the 10.5 acre lot is zoned R3. Within the RO zoning designation, lots are required to be 5,000 square feet with 50 feet of frontage. Within the R3 zoning designation, they're required to have 6,000 square feet with a 60-foot frontage requirement. All of these lots meet the requirement of their respective zoning designations. The 10.5 acre portion of the subject property that's zoned R3 is where the Eddington Estates PUD and preliminary plat was recently approved in 2022. Eddington Estates final plat and PUD approval before a subdivision can be finalized. This is the plat of those 9 lots, those 9 residential lots on the R3 portion of the property. So today's recommendation from staff would be to take public comment if applicable and to recommend approval for the lot division with no conditions. And I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
I guess my one question is, and because I just don't remember, was this always sort of the plan to go this route, or is this a new development?
I think the applicant had not anticipated necessarily separating off the RO lots, but has looked at dividing those separately so that they can be sold off individually. They're not part of the originally Eddington Estates plat. It's just a portion of the property that they already have that they've decided to parcel off into the RO lots.
Thank you.
And the Eddington Estates, that subdivision passed council
The preliminary
6
plat.
weeks ago,
Correct.
2 months ago.
Within the last 2 months.
Yep.
And so these new plats, would they have driveway access onto Palouse River Drive or onto the other?
So there's a proposed street that would, in fact, I've got a slide here if I can skip to it. So there's a proposed Augustine Avenue that comes off of Palouse River Drive that will then continue on to Eddington, I think it's Eddington Street. So those lots will have access off of Palouse River Drive through a street that will be called Augustine Avenue.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, so we can take public comment at this point. Is anyone here to give public comment about this lot division? It doesn't look like it. So,
This is neither here nor there, I don't think, but do you have any idea how long the time frame is to have this worked on? When do they want to start? Do you know?
I can't speak to
Sure.
that. I'm not sure development-wise where they're at in the timing
Okay.
of developing that.
well, I would move that we recommend approval of the lot division request with no conditions.
Agreed.
Okay.
Would you like that on consent agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can always be pulled,
you.
so yeah.
Yep.
Next on our agenda is the public meeting for the proposed lot division and lot line adjustment for 412 and 418 Southview Avenue. And Amy is coming back to talk about that.
Okay, next, as you stated before you, is the lot division and lot line adjustment request for 412 and 418 Southview Avenue. This is the subject property, as you can see, just north of Southview Avenue, east of Palouse River Drive. In close proximity, you can see the Moscow Charter School. I'm going to try to use the pointer, and sometimes I mess this up terribly, but I'm going to try. So this is the charter school here. You have the Grove Apartments over here, the police station, and then a newly under construction storage unit facility here. You've got a couple of residential properties in the surrounding area, but currently these lots are vacant. This is the street view of the subject property. As I said, vacant land. The lots currently, as they sit today, are just over 11,000 square feet and just under 12,000 square feet. The applicant is proposing to adjust that common lot line, shifting it to the west and to the east, creating a new lot in the center. That would result in 412 Southview remaining just over 7,000 square feet, 418 Southview just under 8,000 square feet, and creating that new lot of 7,695 square feet. This is a survey showing how those lots would be laid out and the square footage. Zoning of those lots is currently R2. Within the R2 zoning designation, the lots are required to be 7,000 square feet and can contain single-family homes. Directly adjacent to the west is an R3 zoning designation, which allows for twin homes as well, townhouses and duplexes. As you can see, the parcel directly to the west is a twin home. You can see the two driveways there, and the parcel due west of that is a row of townhouses. And there's an R4 zoning designation also in close proximity. As you can see where the Grove was located, as I pointed out earlier. The surrounding lot sizes in comparison to what's being proposed, as I said, they meet the required minimum for an R3 zoning designation. Although there are some larger lots surrounding it, if you look further to the east, to the southeast over here, if I can get the pointer to work properly, there we go. These lots here are comparable in size and meet the same requirements as R3 zoning designation. And as you can see, like I pointed out previously, there is a townhouse here with 2 dwellings, smaller lots over here for those townhouses. So given that the lots meet the required city standard, staff's recommendation today is to take public comment and if applicable, and to recommend approval of the lot line adjustment and lot division with no conditions. And I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Go back to the previous slide for
Sure
me.
can.
I was just looking at those lots up on Indian Hills. Those look even, I mean, you probably didn't bring this information, but those look like they're similar in size, like 7,000 feet.
So I didn't really take a square footage of those lots above, but I will point out those are zoned R1. And so the lot requirement for an R1 minimum is 9,600 square feet. So those by code are required to be a little bit larger anyway. In comparison, I didn't really take any of the above lots, but they do look quite comparable to what's in the surrounding area.
I'm good for now. Depending on public comment, there might be more questions if you're up for that. And I want to say I
Absolutely.
really appreciate having the live look, the 2 street views on both of your presentation. That helps me a lot.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good.
Do you have any questions?
I don't understand.
All right, so we will open this for public comment. Is there anybody here that would like to provide public comment on this lot division?
Yes, I do. Do you want me to come up there?
You need to come up and give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to provide your information.
Hello, my name is Linda Jellum. I'm here with my husband, Lee Jellum, and a couple of our neighbors, and they may want to speak in addition, but I wanted to speak first. I sent an email to you all last night that explained what our concerns were, particularly for sort of concerns about the lots being built and more houses being built on those 3 lots would be traffic and noise, which is already pretty challenging down in that area because of all the other types of housing that are down there. And we have neighbors who have small children that live on that road, one of whom is here. And the drivers are already pretty challenged in terms of taking the speed at a reasonable speed. So we're worried about that, increased density, the potential that when you have a smaller lot size, obviously you might go up. A lot of the homes up on Indian View, we have lovely views, and we've had some of the homes up a little bit further up that road that have gone tremendously high up to, for whatever reason, to extend their view and to block some of the neighbors that we have. So we have those concerns as well. The other thing I raised is just I'm not clear. It seems to me from sitting here today that the standard really is simply whether it meets the lot line requirements of the various zoning, that's all the issue that you all are looking at, although that's not really clear from the notice. And I couldn't really tell from looking at the ordinance what standards are being applied. And so then the question becomes, if that's the only issue, does that mean that everybody that has a house with, enough square yardage could essentially take those lots and make 2 houses on those as well? So I'm a little confused. We're new to the area. We're new to Idaho. Honestly, I don't really know how this all works. I tried reading the ordinance to figure out what the rules are for lot division. There was nothing there. So I raised those questions of I don't understand what the standards are. I don't understand how this applies going forward. I'm not sure why when the whole Indian Hills plat was addressed relatively recently, if I understand. I wasn't here for it, that this is coming back up now. So those are the concerns I wanted to raise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, if you'd like
Yeah.
to speak, come on up.
Hi, my name is Tanya Blue, and I'm a neighbor in this. I live in the area. I live on Indian Hills, 786 Indian Hills. And I have concerns from a few points on taking it and dividing. One of them is silly, and it's probably because of my profession, is property values. You know, I bought in that neighborhood. I have a half acre. Lyndon Lee bought this size. When you get to 7,000 acres, that's really not what's going on behind it. So the houses along Indian Hills on both sides are like a third of an acre and more. They're 0.3, maybe 0.25, and then this is 0.16. And although we have the high density of the apartment buildings and we have that zoning of R3 next door, immediately, you know, you're going and you're taking small lots and you're putting them right next to homes that have been there or were built with the assumption and the expectation that they were going to have like neighbors, right? Unfortunately, whoever buys the last lot knows that they're buying next to a duplex, but everybody else has these expectations. And so that does affect property values, you know, and more so, you know, going back to traffic, it's just one more car in our neighborhood. It's just one more house for light pollution. It's just one more fence. You know, it's always just one more. Everybody's about, let's just get one more. And as a resident in this town, I wish we would take that in consideration. We don't need one more. We really don't. You know, the quality of life would be nice to have as opposed to a cookie cutter house slapped on as many as possible, lot after lot. And that's what I see. And that's what disappoints me as being in the, you know, I know development happens and I expect it to an extent. But when that was platted, it was like, okay, those are nice size lots. You know, there's going to be some elbow room. There's room for wildlife to scamper around. And I know that might sound silly and trite, but that's why we moved to that area of the town. You know, we've got 2 foxes now in the neighborhood, and they've probably got a den, and it's just fun. It's fun to see that, and it's just disappointing that we're going to add that one more to it. So, you know, property values, and then that, and then it, you know, it just also the opening up. The last thing is the opening up of Southview, which it had to happen, but now it's the shortcut for everybody in that high density housing development, right? They commute to Safeway through there. So it's just more cars. It's just more noise. And being a resident, you know, we would hope that you might consider these concerns over another house. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric Billings. I live at 430 Southview, so right next to the plots. From my point of view, I have 2 small children right now in our neighborhood. I have to really ensure that they are always on a sidewalk and never step into the street because people drive outrageously fast. So I'm concerned that we'll be adding 1, 2, 3, maybe new vehicles into our neighborhood, which already adds to congestion when Southview has now become also the main drop-off area for kids that attend Palouse Prairie, which my kids go to as well, meaning they have to cross the street in the morning. And I know they have like the roundabout, but people use Southview for that, mainly for drop-off, it seems. So for us, we chose the neighborhood because we liked that they were large lots. We liked that they had more open space and it didn't seem like everybody was crowded together. And while our view is not being blocked, we do have very giant buildings right next to us right now with really tall roofs. And I have concerns that with smaller lots that they'll just build up and change the dynamic of the neighborhood, which right now is really nice when it's spread out for my kids and other kids. And so I would also appreciate if you took that into consideration. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lee Jellum. I'm 763 Indian Hills Drive. And yeah, I moved in just this last year. And from what I see it, I mean, there's the aesthetic values and then there's the real reasons, right? So one thing is with the real reasons I heard that there's, you know, lot size are pretty much the same. Math major, I'm thinking it's 180%. that the lot size on the back lot, adjoining lots are at least 180% larger than the other ones. And so there's really no comparison in size, right? They're bigger lots. So I am on the, what you don't necessarily see from the pictures is there's a significant elevation change. So I'm up on top of the hill and I'm looking down, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a different view, right? It's going to be a totally different view than I anticipated when I bought the house 6 months ago. And I come from a house where I had 3 acres in Georgia, half the price, it's like, spent a lot of money coming out here, got a nice view, kicked in some extra cash. And I feel like I'm losing a lot of that. So I just wanted to share that personal aspect too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Scott Becker with Hodge & Associates, 405 South Washington. Thank you, Amy, for the presentation. And I just wanted to say that those lots are all under one ownership right now, and the owner is also the home builder. And so these aren't going to be some slapped together cookie cutter houses. These are going to be some nice homes. He just thought that it would be a better way to, increase people's ability to get into a house. They're certainly not starter homes, I wouldn't call them, but they are in that level that might be affordable for somebody else who couldn't reach the 1 acre size homes that are out there. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that if you have any questions, I'm here to represent the Atanis. So.
Scott?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I have a question as well.
Go.
Jump
You haven't
in.
asked any yet.
Yeah, off the top of your head, from back of sidewalk to the next property line, what's the grade change roughly?
I don't have that information off the top of my
Okay.
head. Obviously, the home wouldn't go that far back.
Yeah,
but
of course, there's setbacks, but
with a basement, daylight basement, or I mean, a daylight garage type of home building is what I conceive of the construction.
Is there a height limit on those homes?
Yeah, there's height limits on all of the homes, I believe.
In that zoning designation, as well as the R1 zoning designation, which is directly to the north above, the height requirement is not allowed to be any taller than 35 feet.
Thank you.
Amy, can we go back to the slide that
Absolutely.
shows the survey real quick?
Sure can. Oops.
I think the elevation really takes off at the back of those lots, right?
Yes.
That's technical.
No, that makes, yeah, that's.
There's a survey with topography on it already done, correct? We just don't have it in this presentation.
We didn't conduct a topographic survey with this. Atanis are very familiar with,
Right.
how to fit these houses in and
Yeah.
make them nice. So.
I'm just gonna figure out this with the height.
Maybe your street view.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I can go back to the street view photo and you can kind of see. So this is looking, I guess it would kind of be northwest-ish. If you look at the slope kind of increases as you get further to the right side of the screen. So if you were to look dead on, I think they probably increase quite substantially towards the back of the lot, as Scott had said.
And just because I know 35 feet when I'm looking at the ground, I have a hard time visualizing it. How tall is that house in the background-ish?
I would hazard.
Any guess?
I wouldn't hazard. a guess.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, sorry.
I would guess, but I'm not gonna say.
I thought the trained eye over there might know.
You're
I
probably
think,
close to 28.
If I can just say,
Just as a rough assumption, but 28 is, I'll say.
if I can just say, I understand it's frustrating for people, but these aren't new lots. These are going from 2 lots to 3 lots. The other thing is, well, 2 things. One is that it sounds like we need to get better enforcement of the speed limit on that road, because I actually live on the route there too, to Safeway, and I do notice that people are going pretty fast through there. So that's kind of a separate issue that we can talk to Chief Fry about. But the other thing is people, Moscow's growing. People love their houses on the edge of town, but we have to remember that they're not going to be on the edge of town forever. And it's it's the same issue over by the Arboretum. You know, people bought this house because it had these big views of the fields, but yeah, there's just it's just going to change. So I'm sure that's really frustrating. I don't have a view, but if I did, I think it'd be frustrating. And I have been in that situation. I've lived on the edge of town before and had somebody build right behind me and bought the house and didn't realize it had been divided like that. And it's frustrating, but yeah. Happens a lot.
All right. Well, if you have any questions, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
I agree completely with what Julia said. It is frustrating. I know that when I drive there or walk there, I've commented many a time. It's like, oh, it's going to be so hard when they built here. And yet the lots have been there for a long time. And yeah, they are breaking it up. So you're going to get an extra house there than what you had before. I mean, I'm totally sympathetic and I would hate it. And I'd be frustrated and I'd be here sharing my frustrations. But I don't know how to not do it because everything's done accordingly. I mean, someone's always going to be frustrated, and I wish I could figure out a way for that not to be. If anyone has an idea on that, by all means, great. But it is growing. It was meant for housing to be there, so I think we're just kind of stuck at this point.
I also think that, you know, as a city, we need to look at what we're looking at in terms of development is more infill and more affordable housing or affordable-ish, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, it's an interesting balance. All right. So, consent agenda or
No.
on the regular agenda?
I feel like it needs to be on
Opinions?
regular agenda.
Regular agenda.
Okay. So we want to put this on the regular agenda. We don't,
With the recommendation? Or
I would say recommend for approval of the lot division.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, we have another lot line adjustment. I thought I was done.
Got a couple.
The next agenda item is a proposed lot line adjustment of lots 4, 5, and 7, block 2 of the Anderson 7th edition.
I was betting it'd be Amy again.
Me again. Okay, the last item I have before you today is the lot line adjustment for lots 4, 5, and 7 within Block 2 of Anderson 7th Edition. Subject property here, just north of Palouse River Drive. As you can see, Sunnyside Avenue extends up, and that is the location of where these lots currently sit. This is the street view from Sunnyside side of the street. In order to get the other view, it would have been sloped upward. So this is from where that street terminates for now. These are the lots. Lot 4 and 5, as you can see, are both at just under 10,000 square feet. Lot 7 is quite a bit bigger at 26,565 square feet and currently has access off of Sunnyside Avenue with the flagpole portion right here of this lot. The applicant is proposing to adjust that lot line 10 feet to the east and west, respectively. Opposite. Cutting that flagpole right in the middle, and then terminating the flagpole portion right there at lot 7. So the new lot sizes would be 11,400 square feet for lot 4 and 5, and lot 7 would be 23,715 square feet. Those lots are currently zoned R4. In R4, lot minimums for width are 50 feet with 5,000 square feet per lot. So all these lots meet those lot widths and lot area. This is part of the Anderson 7th subdivision. It's currently vacant land, and it was previously platted. The original condition of the approval for Anderson 7th edition was that lot 7, block 2, shall be converted to a flag lot with the flagpole portion providing direct access to Sunnyside Avenue, and no vehicular access shall be permitted from Palouse River Drive. As you all may recall, on September 6th of 2022, City Council approved a request from the applicant to amend that condition to state that vehicular access to Lot 7, Block 2 shall only be permitted from Palouse River Drive for commercial use upon that property. Since the commercial use is anticipated for Lot 7 of Block 2, the applicant is proposing to eliminate the flagpole portion of the lot since the access to Sunnyside Avenue is no longer needed. So staff's recommendation today would be to approve the lot line adjustment with no conditions. And I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Can you just show me that picture again?
Sure can.
Thank you. Cool. So access is from Sunnyside, right?
Currently, access is from Sunnyside. Oh, wrong one for the pointer. There we go. So current access is off of Sunnyside here to Lot 7. This is proposing that access remain no longer. So 10 feet of 10 feet of each side of that flag lot would go to each Lot 4 and 5 respectively. And then access would be
Okay.
provided off of Palouse River Drive upon development.
Julia, you were the one.
I was the one that voted.
and I can't. I can't remember the reasoning. And you made a lot of sense before. So do you remember what?
I just think when you go down that section of Palouse River Drive, there are so many driveways leading onto Palouse River Drive that I didn't think we needed another one. And so that was why I voted against it the first time
Thank you.
and lost. I mean, you know.
Well, I'll let Scott talk.
Yeah, Scott Becker with Hodge and Associates. I just wanted to kind of reiterate that the grades are really unfriendly for that flagpole portion of
That's
the
right.
lot. And that's why, and then through that discussion, it was discussed that how would we block that access off if we allowed access off of Palouse River Drive so the neighbors wouldn't be upset. Well, this solves that problem, but we kind of had to do it in steps in case there was a misstep anywhere along the way. We didn't want to, isolate that lot and not have access to it.
And Amy or Scott, I think Scott, you were the on lot 7. That's already been laid out to host a commercial building already that has a turnaround parking.
Mhm.
That has, I think there's like 8 spaces there, so they're not backing on to Palouse River Drive.
Yeah, there would be nobody backing onto Palouse River Drive. It would be like you said, it would have its own parking lot that would just
to handle that, so there wouldn't be a safety concern or
right.
right.
And the other thing is the visibility at that lot is kind of, you're at the crest of the hill, so you can see to the east and to the west long distances. So that's also another safety.
Kind of what's being adjusted is just to make that there's not that awkward space, the 20 feet, I believe, between 4 and 5. It's just
Yeah, and it's also to protect the neighbors to the north, so that nobody can access through that way. It does kind of right now there was a concern that they would still be able to use that access even though the grades really don't work that way. But this would give it a chance to make
it's a business
concession to the neighbors to make sure that they're aware of what's coming and not a chance for a secondary access through traffic coming by their houses.
I remember this on planning and zoning.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And I think too, some of the issues that we've already heard from different set of problems, different location, but this also takes care of traffic in a residential area and keeps it on Palouse River Drive. That's kind of the intent behind it.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's only one driveway access to lot 7.
Yes.
That makes me feel good.
And it was always a farm access there anyway, so there was kind of an access, not really used to access.
I know Drew said that you already kind of have that lot 7 taken care of. Will it be a high traffic spot for people coming in and out there? Do you anticipate?
If I had to guess, I would say it would be something like a medical office building, eye doctor,
Okay.
dentist, something along those lines, chiropractor, because it kind of fits in with that neighborhood and the other things that are going on there. So nothing set in stone.
Sure.
But if I were to guess, I think that would be
Right.
the
And
most,
only a guess. I get that.
right. Yeah,
Yes.
the most likely use for a lot like that.
I would approve this.
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay. I lost the first time, so I guess I'm just going to go with, I'm just going to accept my defeat. And I would recommend the approval of the lot line adjustment request and
I
put
think
it on
is okay for
consent.
this one.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
That's it, Amy?
That's it.
Oh,
Until next time.
all right.
All right, next on the agenda is the Lily Street reconstruction. A Street to 3rd Street rebid. Sorry, I was having a little trouble with the structure of that sentence. The Lily Street reconstruction from A Street to 3rd Street. Is that right? Rebid.
Yes.
With Scott Bontrager.
So this project we had put out to bid last spring, had only one bid result at that time. It was about 400,000 over what we were expecting. And at the time too, we were still feeling the COVID push from all the lack of stuff coming from vendors for pipe material, everything else. So put this one back out to bid this December. I'll step through this just as a reminder of what we were doing out there. So this one is covering Lily Street from 3rd Street to A Street, complete rebuild, including all underground utilities. And then also this portion of 1st Street to the west over to Llewellyn, where we're planning on doing reconstruction of the road, adding water line, and also daylighting Hog Creek through that area, similar to what was done to the east through Lindley and Otness Park, and extension of the pathway system. So existing conditions out here, this just kind of shows, and it's kind of hard to see too, but the roadway itself is in really poor condition with all the utility cuts and all the alligator asphalt and everything that's out there. And then all the utilities, water, sewer, storm, everything is past its functional life. So it's just a rebuild of everything through the area. So the base bid for this project, general overview, is that full reconstruction, roadway, curb and gutter, sidewalks, everything that's underground utilities, and then miscellaneous restoration. So some of the stuff in the green strips and where we need to tie into various spots. And as part of the base bid too is this extension of the pathway and opening up the creek along this area here, very similar, just looking back east through Lindley and Otness Park, similar to that, an extension of that, which the idea is to carry that from where it's at over on Almond Street, eventually all the way to Llewellyn, and then down Llewellyn and, master plan to the future, just continue that pathway system towards the university. But this cross section up here kind of gives a little bit of an idea too, where the pathway itself will be adjacent to the opened up creek that's have a little retaining wall and a fence along there.
Scott, can I just ask you a question before?
Sure.
So I seem to remember that area tends to flood. Will daylighting that creek, will that help?
Yeah, that was all part of the modeling that was done through this area. I can't guarantee it'll help in all aspects, but it will for these portions of this.
Okay, thanks.
And then the alternate bid as part of this project was the reconstruction of 1st Street. Outside of doing the pathway and the opening up the creek through the area is just the additional, right now, the roadway out here is all old asphalt grindings that are definitely starting to come back apart. It's not actual real hot mix asphalt that was placed. It was a mix of chemicals and asphalt grindings that was laid down and was expected to last somewhere like 7 to 10 years. And that's about where it's at right now. So it's reconstruction of the road to current standards, curb and gutter, sidewalk, just bringing everything up to current standards through there, and also running a water main through there, which will help loop the water main through the area, help with water quality. It'll add a fire hydrant down on the corner of 1st and Llewellyn, closer to the furniture store. And right now, a few of those residents have really long services that actually track all the way down to Llewellyn, all the way back up to A Street. So it'll make it so that their home services really are only just going out to the street instead of running, block and a half. So we opened bids for this one on January 10th. It was out to bid for about a month. We had lots of interest from different contractors. 3 actually turned in bids. The bids ranged, the base bids, I mean, you can see from the chart, but total bids range from $2,045,000 and some change to $2,136,000 and some change for both base bid and alternate. The engineer's estimate for this project was $1,958,401, with the lowest responsive bid coming from Big Sky Corporation at $2,045,643.50, which is less than 5% for our world. That's pretty close. And with the range of bids here, two of them being also close, it's definite sign that this is what it takes to build this right now, which the last time we opened bids, Raz Construction last spring was at, I think, 2.5 million. So we definitely saw the change in economics from rebidding the project. So staff's recommendation is the acceptance of the low bid from Big Sky Corporation, awarding the contract for the base bid in the amount of $1,871,406.50, as well as the bid alternate in the amount of $174,237, contingent upon the Moscow Urban Renewal Agency providing an additional $200,000, which they have already provided $200,000 originally for this project. We're just asking for an additional $200,000 to assist with the alternate portion of the project. And authorize staff approval and construction change orders in an amount not to exceed 10% of the contract amount, or provide staff further direction.
Where's Big Sky out of?
They have offices in different places, but the closest one's up in Coeur d'Alene area.
On Coeur d'Alene.
Have
Yeah.
you worked with them before?
They did the sewer trunk line project that went from the water reclamation and reuse facility running back west through University of Idaho, through
Okay.
soccer fields and everything. And they were a great contractor to work through. That was back in 2013.
Yeah, this is a weird question, and I mean, this looks good, so this isn't really contingent on that. But I used to have a handful of meetings at Otness Park not very long ago with some different groups, and we were always calling Tyler Palmer because the creek was always really oily. We don't know why, but every 3 weeks I'd have a meeting there, and we would walk over and just, creek is pretty, and you look through and it's that new park coming by apartments, and always really, really oily. So I'm worried about our little creek there, and I don't want to mess it up anymore with what's going on here. So I hope that the plans they have, that's all. I don't know where I'm going with that. I just worry about that because it was bad and the little frogs were dying, and it made me
Sure.
sad.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's all coming to the creek, but I can tell you with our stormwater program and everything, a lot of this is going to continue to clean up as time goes
Okay.
on.
Thank you.
And currently the stormwater right now, where it comes from Lilian Otness Park through the open part of the creek, it actually enters a culvert system that goes underneath the
Mhm.
apartments and underneath the furniture store. So we're trying to daylight this, get away from having old culvert systems near or underneath structures.
Cool. Thank
Where
you.
did it naturally tie in? Because if it's going on in the furniture store, where did it, do we know before they built the furniture store?
It continued straight across through the highway all the way down. I mean, just almost a straight line till it hit the.
It just tell it hit the creek right there.
Mhm.
Now it doesn't join until you get to about Tri-State frontage across the highway where the underground culvert goes underneath the furniture center. Then it goes down the south side of Highway 8 until the culvert discharges
Yeah.
just about opposite of Tri-State, just on the other side of Stadium Drive, I think it is.
Well, I think this makes sense. I'm glad that we got some realistic bids this time around, and I'm glad that so many people bid. Do we have a sense, and I know you don't have a magic 8 ball, that would be great if you did, but do we have a sense that these prices are going to hold and so it will stay like this?
Of what we've been hearing from contractors is things are slowing down on other areas. The material's getting better to get, and that they are hungry and looking for more projects. So everything we continue to put out, there is a lot of interest in things.
Great.
This was also kind of bid at a more optimum time this time. We had a lot of projects bid either last fall or very early this spring, where in some of the past cycles, we were running into the March and April timeframe
Yeah.
to bid the projects. So we were running a little bit late in the
Gotcha.
cycle.
Cool. I'm in
We
favor.
accept the bid. It'll start when? Do we know?
It wouldn't be out until U of I is done for the semester because of all the students that live in that area.
Yeah, the intent is when U of I when all the graduates have left. And then with the ad alternate, it would extend into September, but the core of the work to be finished up prior to students coming back.
Nice.
So it'll be done in October then?
Oh, who's cynical?
I was gonna
That's
say
usually my
November.
role. Just in time,
Sorry.
right after,
Sorry. It was-
right after
I was-
homecoming,
It's all
it'll
right.
be done.
Just a little joke.
Yep.
Mhm.
Just a little joke.
I move approval.
I
Agreed.
approve. Yeah.
I don't see any
So we'll put
issues.
it
I
on-
can consent.
On consent? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Is that it now?
That is it. I'm putting my notes away.
Do we need to move to adjourn?
That's it. Is that a move to adjourn?
It is.
Hey,
It's a matter of fact.
everybody's in favor of adjourning.
Great.
Got a lot done in 45 minutes.